Britney Spears got arrested for DUI.
Yeah. Wait, I don't even know this.
Oh, yeah,
I'm living under a rock.
Wow. It just happened. It literally, hours ago.
It could be considered breaking news. It's now, TMZ got it first, and they don't really have any details, no mugshots or anything yet, but it was 9:30 p.m. last night. There's no blood alcohol level, any of that, but yeah, DUI, straight up DUI.
I'm not surprised.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
It is another Love Thy Neighbor show. I'm Dan Dennis.
I'm Tom Van, and Colette Jane Fair is on the couch with us. How you doing, Colette?
I thought I was maybe going to get to introduce myself.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the show where we don't let ladies do nothing.
I'm sorry. I should have let you introduce yourself. I don't know why.
I'm just teasing you.
Okay, so...
what do you want to do here, buddy? Because we got a lot that we could go to, or what do you got on your mind?
Let's do a couple celebrity things.
Ooh, yes.
Because, so first off, and if you're listening to this on the radio or podcast, then this happened a week ago, but Britney Spears got arrested for DUI.
Yeah. Wait, I don't even know this.
Oh, yeah,
I'm living under a
rock.
rock.
Wow. It just happened. It literally, hours ago.
It could be considered breaking news. It's now, TMZ got it first, and they don't really have any details, no mugshots or anything yet, but it was 9:30 p.m. last night. There's no blood alcohol level, any of that, but yeah, DUI, straight up DUI.
I'm not surprised, sadly.
Yeah, so what when you see, I'm sure, Colette, you've seen Britney Spears videos and you know about the conservatorship and that whole thing that happened. And so I'm just curious on your opinion about Britney Spears.
Like what I think is happening with her?
Whether the conservatorship, and then if you know about those things, and then like how they work normally, and and why people perceive that as like, hey, they're controlling you, and you know, like, and the uproar against it, and now there's none of that, and then it seems like
look what's happening.
She's having troubles.
So I think my first instinct was that when people felt like she was really being exploited and taken advantage of and had lost agency in her whole life, and there may be truth to that. You know, nobody knows behind the scenes whether or not the conservatorship was really warranted. Now from what we're seeing, and I always have the caveat as a mental health professional, you know, even though we're here for entertainment, that you can't diagnose or analyze anyone through a 2-second social media clip. So I don't want to do that. But of course, I'm a human being with an opinion. And when I see these videos of her dancing around, she doesn't seem okay to me. Now, does that mean that she needed to lose all rights to her finances and her, you know, I don't know. It does seem like she needs help. And when I look back, when I was younger and Britney was really, really out there in mega stardom, and remember she shaved her head, and there were a couple things that went on with her that I look back on now. I wasn't a therapist then, and think, you know, she may be somebody who's struggled with mental health issues always, as many of us do, and didn't get the help she needed. It's also really hard to become mega famous at, 18, 19, 20 years old, and that can take a huge toll on your mental health. But I worry for her, and now that there isn't this conservatorship, who's helping her? Does she have good people on her side? Does she have support? I don't know, but I hope she does.
So speaking of like being a child star, and I saw this with like Bam Margera, where it looked like he got stuck in a teenager
frozen in time,
like and then never matured after that. Like he never turned into a middle-aged man, and like he was just stuck as a teenager from when they got famous. And I've heard about that before, and I bet that happens to non-celebrities too, where you kind of get stuck in the personality of a young person even when you're old.
Hello. What? Looking at you, Tom, getting frozen in adolescence.
I get to work. Outside of this, I am not talkative, very stone cold. I've had no fun.
Outside of this, I am a very serious and grumpy adult. I will have you know.
I am an angry 14-year-old who's very serious.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny, Colette, is that
the ratings on these last episodes where Colette is pushing back against us have never been better.
I'm like
never been better.
Tom.
No, they've never been better. You're giving me crap about eating it. You're giving it and they love it. They're eating it up, man. They're loving it. So keep doing it.
Yeah, you need to push back.
Doing it.
I hope you guys know I love you.
No, I know.
And I think you're so mature.
Trust me, we are tough creature people. You can't. We're fine. You don't worry about us.
No, we realize
Get us good. You get us real good.
When we went to your book release, we're like, oh my God, this is how adults do events.
Did you hear any of those shows that we talked to secretly about your? Have you heard any of that?
I'm like,
we did not belong there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm looking around. I didn't even know how to do valet. I'm like,
But
valet.
meanwhile, so many people told me how much you guys made the night. I've been meaning to tell you that. So many people told me how great you were, your vulnerability, that you were so professional, that you were really self-deprecating, which people love that.
One of Maisie's dance
You guys
moms
were
was there,
authentic.
and she came up and told my wife. I don't want to put her on blast, but she was like, hey, I just want to tell you something. Dude, this is serious. And this helped me. Remember the last show we were talking about getting help in the bedroom?
Yeah.
The lady said to my wife, your husband, he's just so vulnerable, and he was up there just sharing it.
Wow.
That is just so great. And my wife, I got points.
You
for
got
that,
points.
Buddy. I got points.
Okay, I heard feedback like that about you guys too. My mom was like, I just love
your
Tom
mom.
and Dan.
Your mom is great.
Like she went on and on
so
and
sweet.
on. I mean, everybody loved you guys. So I know we joke. You guys are incredibly
keep pushing back,
intelligent, and you were very much like the selling point of the book launch.
Well, thank you.
Just have
We
to
will
tell
take
you.
the compliment. We appreciate it.
But and so I noticed this literally in the past month or so, where it's that where I'm very like all I do is jokes on the show, and and like everything's funny and whatever. And then I was going home and like trying to be a dad. And then I was like, okay, I want my sons to see strength, and I want my sons to see hard work and work ethic, and I want them to. And then I get like that where they just knew me from like, oh, hard work, and I'm always preaching grit and like pushing, like because I'm thinking like that's what I want my sons to have or whatever.
Right.
But then I was not doing no fun or comedy with them, and then I started doing that a little bit and making them laugh, and we were laughing at the dinner table, and like I was being more of doing what I'm doing on the show to them, and I'm like, man, I'm getting way more out of this.
Yeah.
Like
Welcome to my world,
and then-
buddy.
and-
Welcome to my way.
And they were responding better, where they liked funny comedy dad.
Oh, yeah.
And the grit, hardworking dad, they were kind of
That
like
guy sucks.
yeah, that does
I
like,
know that guy. He sucks.
Drill
Comedy,
sergeant.
I love Comedy Tom. Comedy Tom's awesome, but Business Tom,
Yeah. But I'm confused because I see these guys like Shaq's stepdad, which I will talk about, where he's a drill sergeant. And he taught him so much about respect.
I
and
have
hard
met that
work.
man many times. He's a hard-working
And-
American veteran.
Yeah, but then I'm like, I wonder what the relationship is. It was like, okay, this guy's a hard ass, and then he taught me a lot of things, but it's not fun. And I'm like, I want my sons to have a fun relationship with me and like laugh with me.
Let me ask you this, because it ties perfectly in. I'll go with Colette first. Then, what kind of relationship do you have with your dad? Was he fun dad or business dad?
Both.
Both?
I think both. Like,
My dad was full fun dad.
Yeah. See, I mean,
Jokes ahoy for my dad, and I cherish it. It's literally, dude. It's probably one of my all-time most. I'm gonna cry. It means so much to me, fun dad. So if you're doing that for your boys, that gets me. That makes me like, I'm like, oh, you're gonna get me, because I love thinking about my dad's humor.
and can we add to this too? Because I've seen it. Vulnerable Tom also having, as men, we first of all, grit's really important, and I think modeling a work ethic, and I think as parents we do have to have we're guiding people, we're developing people to live successful lives. So there should be ideally space for all of this, the fun, the jokes. That's how you bond with somebody, and humor is healthy and useful. It just can't be humor all the time unless we're on the show, right? There also has to be develop yourself as a person. Let me guide you in life. And then there's got to be vulnerability. And as men, you guys as fathers, you have the unique opportunity to teach your children that men can be strong and vulnerable. This is how they're going to have good relationships as adults, if they can actually talk about their feelings and open up. And you both have done that multiple times on this show. You did it at my book launch, and you have it in you.
Yeah.
We just need to keep saying it to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
I feel
Reps.
like
We need reps. We need
Yes.
more. We need to take our language, which is rep language, and apply it to Colette's language, which is, I mean, all of this stuff. Everybody, would you agree? Can I make this statement accurately? Everything in your book, everybody can do.
Absolutely.
It's an impossible to say I can't, to hold the cost of quiet up and say like I can't do this. That is a lie.
Yes, that's 100% true. And in fact, I'll go one degree further, that it is really the principles I'm advocating for that are simple. Saying what's true for you, sharing your feelings, being authentic, addressing things. This is actually what we're designed to do as human beings. What's happened is that we've been hurt in our lives. We've been through stuff. We've had bad relationships. We've had traumas. And so we've gotten protected and scared. But if we start to really connect to ourselves again and we show up more real in our relationships, the stuff I'm advocating for is not only possible, it's natural, and this is how we live better lives. This is about enjoying your life more. It's not be vulnerable for your partner. It feels better for you. Once you do it, you're going to experience that.
My wires are so crossed that I can only do it on the show or in like a live audience.
Right. I mean, you have a therapist pushing you a little.
Yeah, but I
don't
argue
do it with my wife or my kids at home. Like no vulnerability.
Yeah,
I see it sometimes with you when you and I are talking. I'm not going to say any particulars, but when he and I are having dad talks, as I will frame them, we are vulnerable about certain things, and I'm not going to allude to any. That is a private thing with me and T. But
I'll tell it.
You do it, and I do it, and there are certain things that, and it is important to us. But I would argue that even the little bit of work that you're doing with Colette, doing it on the show, doing it at the book launch, however you want to frame it, is probably a step further than a lot of people that can't even do it at all.
Yes, and they can't do it just because they haven't yet experienced that it feels good. So if your whole life you grew up with people who didn't make it safe to be open and honest about how you're feeling or what you're wanting or needing, then of course you don't think this is a good idea. And there's long been this societal construct that men should be strong and silent. I even saw a famous therapist who I will not name, but very well known, saying, women, we tell men we want them to be vulnerable, but then when they're vulnerable, we punish them. I'm sorry. I've been doing my job for a long time. That is not what I know that perception's out there. This therapist is not in the trenches working with people day in and day out like I am. I have men who are general contractors, construction workers, CEOs, entrepreneurs, engineers. And when they open up in an authentic, genuine way, their partners love it. Absolutely love it, receive it. They see them as strong. They feel closer.
Is that
it's
naturally?
Sexy.
Is that that's woven into the human fabric, right? That
yes.
is almost an.
We are supposed to do
on
that.
Almost on a
evolutionary.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for. An evolutionary level. It's like when you are presented as a human with another human's authenticity, truth, whatever, then automatically you're receiving the message better.
Yes, and that is what you're right. It's biological. This is a biological imperative. We are pro-social herd animals. We are wired for connection. We're meant to form close, safe bonds with other adults, and we need that to survive and thrive. We know from the research that the number one predictor of a long, happy life is the quality of connection in your relationship. So we've got all this stuff that's in the way of this now that we've got to unpack, and part of it is not just society. Part of it is that there's kind of this paradox where on the one hand, we're wired for connection. On the other hand, we're wired to fear anything that jeopardizes connection, and conflict, even though it's actually good, feels like a threat to connection. So we don't want to open up because we fear judgment. We fear getting in an argument that damages the relationship.
Right.
We all fear rejection and abandonment. But I'm telling you that if you don't have to be a blubbering puddle on the couch, but if you're telling your wife, when that happened the other day, I felt a little worried that maybe you see me as a failure, or maybe I'm not good enough in your eyes.
It's like you pulled that right out of Tom's phone. like, right? Is that
accurate? Big brother is watching
My
you.
God.
Right? And
surveillance.
People respond to this naturally because of what you said, Dan. Vulnerability invites vulnerability, and this is how we're supposed to connect as people.
Well,
it's funny too. Yeah, no, I was just thinking when you said vulnerability, what
invites vulnerability.
Invites vulnerability is almost like the exact opposite, but it is the same as like iron sharpens iron, like those type of things.
And if you show someone your protection, if you armor up, you're going to get their protection and you're not going to be close.
Well, speaking of connection and vulnerability, let's hear from Shaquille O'Neal, when he was on a podcast. I ran into this. I was searching a relationship.
Open up to a woman?
Oh, sorry. I stopped it. Sorry.
Where are we going?
Okay, so
I can't wait to hear.
Open up to a woman.
So Shaq was on some sort of podcast, and now there's so many podcasts. I don't know who, but like these people are talking to Shaq, so they must be huge. I have no idea who they are.
They may
Never
not be.
heard
This
of
could
them.
be his cousin.
Yeah,
First episode.
You're right.
Shaq's cousin.
You're right. It could be Shaq's cousin.
a favor for my cousin.
Yeah, it could be Shaq's cousin or some young podcasters
Could be anybody.
that have millions of followers no one now knows anymore. But he's on a podcast and he's talking about opening up to your wife or your partner. And this is what Shaq has to say.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Yeah, your whole life.
Bro, they gonna tell you can't.
Because you know why?
But it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped like a motherfucker.
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're going to throw it back in your face. That's why.
Real.
That's why. So you can't ever.
That's why you crackers. Your dad left.
Yeah.
Thank
Did
you,
he
Shaq.
say? Did you hear that one guy at the end? He says, "That's why you crackers got it bad."
No, he
He
cried.
said your dad left you.
I thought he said
Because Shaq's biological father left the family.
He did.
And then he's like...
That's when he wrote.
So this is why.
He wrote the hits rap song "Biological Didn't Bother."
And then
Remember that song?
he was raised
outstanding.
by his stepdad that adopted him, who was like a drill sergeant, and he attributes a lot of his success to that. So, but anyways, I guess Shaq mentioned on the podcast that he never opened up to a woman. So there's a lot to unpack here because I sort of think,
yes, I have thoughts.
Yes, I don't want to hear
figured
this.
you might.
Because
And it was also a perfect tie-in, almost like you knew how to host a show.
I know
dude.
how we went from Britney,
Great job.
Britney's DUI, and here we are
There's
at the
more
heart of vulnerability.
There's more coming out. Apparently, she's currently in the hospital.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's breaking
Maybe
news.
that's good though. Maybe she
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah. Put her back in that. Get her dad back over here. Come on, we were wrong. We
So,
didn't have her.
I had a lot of questions when I heard this clip because Shaq said he's never in his life opened up to a woman.
Does
right?
that surprise you? It doesn't surprise
No,
me.
it doesn't. But then I started thinking, I'm like, whoa, what's Shaq's definition of opening up?
Also, is he counting his mama?
Probably.
Like,
maybe. Probably not. But I wouldn't be shocked if he hasn't opened up to his mom either.
So, but what?
I think this is weird.
So is his definition of
I do.
Okay.
of opening up? A lot of men are like this. I grew up with,
But
a
I'm
lot of
also
men
a
like this.
hypersensitive guy,
Yeah.
so maybe that's why it's weird to me.
Yeah.
That is why it's weird to you. Because if you're over 40, most likely you were not, even maybe over 35, raised with anyone opening up to anyone. This is like a new idea that we're realizing this is normal.
Oh my God! I kissed my dad on the lips.
Yeah, but that is not typical.
Yeah.
That's lovely, but not typical.
My grandfather.
I mean, is it lovely?
and
I don't
stepdad.
know. It was long too. It was like 6-7 minutes.
Okay,
kisses. No,
scratch.
They were just peck kisses.
I've never
Kiss him on the
heard
cheek.
how any men in my family were feeling one time in my
Right,
life. Like, they've never said even good or bad.
They
or
might as
anything.
well be
Nothing.
statues.
Okay, hold on.
That's normal.
They're
Can we-
feeling mad. I know
Can
that.
we pause for 1 second because it is very odd to me for you as a man to say it's crazy to think you're not your dad, not your granddad, not any man that's connected to you biologically has never told you how he's feeling ever.
No.
That's-
See, I find that very typical.
Yeah.
That's very and this
Why
is
would they say
why
that?
people
There's
need
no-
help with relationships because people aren't used to doing
Yeah.
this.
So going back to Shaq,
Yeah.
he said he never opened up. And what I find funny about this is I'm like, well, what does he mean by
Right.
opening up? Like, he never even said, he's like, I feel sad today. like, he never.
He said that. He said that.
And then, like, how would that be thrown back in your face? And or does he mean like some deep dark secret, like,
No.
I want to wear your panties, or like something like crazy that he's like hiding? You know, I'm like, what is that?
That is also opening up.
Or
yeah.
nothing. Like, he's never told his wife that he ever was like feeling bad
Or
today
said
or
you're scared
depressed
about
or
something.
scared. Yeah, that he's
Yeah.
like, I'm scared.
I've done that. I've done that with this company before where I come on my tail end. I go, I got to be honest with you, man.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
if we made the right
you're
decision.
emotional, you're communicative. I think you're more communicative and emotional than
Yeah,
some
I
people.
am.
You have access to that. I mean, okay, so first of all, this is something I hear a lot in
Okay.
therapy. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Of course, we'll never know exactly what Shaq's operational definition of opening up is unless we have him here.
He said nothing, like never said anything of like sad, happy, or like any
I'm
sort of.
guessing yes.
That's
I'm
crazy.
guessing yes. He's probably referring to not really being vulnerable about not only his emotions but his fears, doubts, and insecurities. So these are the things that men can be really afraid to feel. fear. Like I threw out, I feel like I could be failing you or not good enough in your eyes. Those are two big themes that I hear often from men, and that men are often reluctant to share because they think it might make them look weak. Or I will hear from a lot of people, it will be weaponized against me in an argument that I've revealed this. And that feels like the worst thing in the world if your vulnerability is used against you. Now, here's the thing. Usually that interpretation, I'm not saying it doesn't come at all from the societal construct of men being strong, but often you've had somebody in your life who's done that. You've opened up to someone along the way and they've used it against you. And that's where you get that idea. Most of the things we fear now in our relationships are old wounds from either previous romantic relationships. It could be you were, not accepted on the playground in the first grade. It could be something from your parents. But that idea, so we're all a little afraid that our vulnerability could be rejected, or, we might be like, ew, why are you saying that? Or not met. But that specific, it's going to be used against me. Usually somebody's done that to you along the way, and you need the experience of having it go differently to realize that it's not always going to be that way.
Oh, that was me with cheating.
Yeah.
I would do a comparative, and it would poison newer relationships.
Like you'd been cheated on, and then you'd bring that into...
real quick, I'd been cheated on a bunch before Andrea, my wife.
Yeah.
So getting to that point with her, I would apply that same feeling to her, but she's not like that at all. And you would have to tell me. You knew that you didn't tell me. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? She is not like, what? You are a dum-dum. It's all in me.
Right.
So it was just
normal.
It's just like Shaq. It was his pathway, how he was brought up, shaped that next pathway, right? So, public eyes since he was 17 years old, 16 years old, LSU, one of the biggest, if not the greatest center of all time. Always probably had his guard up to be taken advantage of. Why
and people
would you
probably
open up?
did try to take advantage.
He's had relationships fail, has he not? Had baby mamas? I think so. So, I mean, I would imagine that is what he's telling the tale. He's telling his tale.
His I guess, first wife was that super small
the
lady.
tiny girl. We met her many times.
Yeah, like super tiny.
At the Roxy, we'd meet her all the time.
That was my first obsession with how does this work?
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this possible?
I'd watch the hell out of that.
Then I become obsessed with it.
Although, for what we were talking about in the last episode, oral sex, right?
Correct.
So,
how does that work?
Not to psychoanalyze Shaq here, but what's also interesting to me is that he forgoes telling his partner anything about how he feels, which is actually gets it off your chest. Sometimes, like, it's better for you, like, to have a partner you could like unload something.
We do it here. You and I do it about the business.
100%.
So like if you have a rough day, or you're scared about something, or you feel like you're gonna fail, or whatever. You're just talking it out.
That's
with
actually the point of a relationship.
That's
as
the
an
partner
adult.
point, right?
The point is that human beings need other human beings and feel better when we share things.
Yeah. So he's willing to cut that all off, right?
100%.
Just because he's afraid of that person
taking advantage.
You're using it against him in some way. Like, what the hell is that person gonna do to you, Shaq? Like, be like, I remember when you were scared of this one.
Yes.
You're so afraid of that you were willing to cut off all emotional contact.
Okay, Tom, this is what you're saying right now. This is literally the entire thing of couples therapy. People are deathly afraid of that. And it's hardwired into our limbic system, which is our emotional nervous system, that we would put something out there and somebody would just step on us in that moment. It sounds crazy when you think about it practically. What's going to happen if you said, that hurt me, and somebody said, well, I don't give a whatever, right? You're going to die. It feels like death to people. And if you don't have what we call in psychology a corrective emotional experience, meaning you put yourself out there and somebody does receive you, and then your nervous system goes, oh, this isn't so dangerous after all. This feels good. I can turn to people when I'm sad and offload some of this and share it, and I feel better and we're closer. Until you have that corrective emotional experience, you remain unwilling to put yourself out there.
Protection response.
Yes. And you cut yourself off. This is the whole reason I wrote my book. You're starving yourself from connection by a mistaken belief that has its seeds of origin in earlier wounding times and isn't true all the time.
I wanted to ring a bell or something when you're finished, like, or stand up or clap, like
yes.
Maury Povich
Let's
audience.
Clap for ourselves.
I don't know, but I like what you're saying. Okay, this all makes, and I think to a lot of people this makes sense. And then it kind of, when you say that, it kind of blankets society, and then I look at everybody, and you're correct. I look at all these people that like aren't anywhere in tune with any emotion, really. There are a lot of Shaqs.
There are a lot of Shaqs. And there are a lot of people who just are say, you know what?
Tom's not a Shaq. I want to give him a
open up.
compliment. I do this on the show a lot. But you're better off than you even think, buddy.
Yeah,
you're
even the fact that Tom thinks it's crazy that Shaq would do this.
He's doing it with his wife.
No,
he does it with his wife all
the
the time. And the partner thing he's been saying has been inspiring me to be more beneficial to my partner.
Yeah,
Having a good partnership is important.
So, because I do look at reality, and I know this sounds stupid, but
you can preface it if that makes you feel better, but I don't think anything you're saying is stupid.
I agree.
Because I'm like, Shaq most likely will go his whole life, and it will be cut short because of his size. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And because of his lack of human connection.
Well, you're not wrong. That stuff does make you live longer.
Yeah,
It does. It's proven.
science.
It's proven by the
it is.
Harvard study on adults.
That's why when he says the partner thing, I go, if people would work on their marriage, you realize you're making both of you live
You
longer.
will live longer.
Yeah.
Like, no 90-year-old Shaq.
It's called Great Dane's disease. It's called Great Dane's disease.
Just, hey, it ain't possible.
Me,
Sorry.
even I can do whatever I want. I'm a little dog.
But-
Warts and all, I'll live in a garage door. Will kill me.
But when I see, like, and
Little
Shaq
dog.
has obviously done well for himself and probably will go the rest of his life without sharing anything emotional with his partner ever. And then he'll die, and that's it. And
Unless
that's
he comes to see me.
Unless, and then I look at that
I
as
will not allow it.
as that's kind of unfortunate.
It's tragic.
because he is like he's giving up something that it would probably benefit his life.
Would benefit his
Would
life.
benefit objectively his life, and he's missing out on this because of something that could be fixed.
I think it's almost in like the way you explain it. If it is science, if you're
is.
a math person, and it is science,
Yep.
then it
That's what clicker means.
Then it has to benefit your life. There
Yes.
is
No, I
no,
know, yeah.
there's
Right.
no other
There's no
way
gray
out.
area.
There's no other way out.
And it's not woo-woo therapy stuff. It's really not. This actually, it's been studied over 85 years, the Harvard study of adult development, where they looked at people generations over their lifespan and found that the number one predictor was relationships of how long you lived, how healthy you are, how much well-being you enjoy. So when we're not connected in this way where we're sharing, it actually increases the risk of all kinds of disease and people die earlier. It's been absolutely proven. So we're letting these ideas, or we got rejected once, or we had a manipulative person in our life. It's natural to feel a little afraid and to fear conflict, but you have to embrace it, and then you can experience what comes on the other side.
So Colette, let me ask you this, because I look at it just like, running, right? It's like you can't do it now, but if you start slow, eventually you'll build up and you'll be able to do it. It's just science.
Perfect
right?
analogy.
So then with this, and if you are like Shaq and you've never shared an emotion with your partner because you just never the way you lived, how do you start slow?
So you pick one. So this is a great question. You pick.
Hold on, I legally have to put the camera on him and back on you. Okay.
Okay, so you pick one small thing that bothered you, like on a scale of 1 to 10, something that's about a 2 or a 3, right? I'll give you an example from my own life of something that might seem so minor, but is a great place to start.
Okay.
I have a thing for noises. I have a real problem where I hate certain noises. It's called misophonia. And it's a whole psychological thing connected to anxiety where someone's phone being on speaker drives me crazy. I can't concentrate. I can't ignore the sound. So scraping on plates, this is going to make me sound nuts. My husband doesn't like how particular I am about noises because he's like, I feel like I'm in jail and I can't make any noises
Can't
without
scrape my
annoying
plates.
you.
I like plate scraping.
Yes, yes.
I feel like that too.
Yes. Okay.
I was
Right.
gonna
He's
say
like, if I
before-
chew loud, it annoys
Yeah.
you, and I'm like, well, it does.
There
I
are
can't-
mystery sounds in Tom's houses that'll never be found. There are mystery odors, mystery wind. There's wind that'll
Everything's mildew
and drive you crazy.
Yeah, there's mystery stinks.
I can't even begin to imagine what that's coming from. But so this focuses on the noise. I've told my husband 50 times, don't use the glass plate with the metal fork. I'm aware that that's annoying. Okay, I get it. And I've even conceded I wouldn't love having my plate scraping policed either. But I've explained it really clearly and kindly as it pertains to this is an issue of mine, not a criticism of you. Could you work with me here? So the other day he was eating something out of the glass people. It scraped really loud.
This mother.
I mean, I can feel it again.
This guy,
right?
God.
And
We're always with the scraping. My God.
He's doing it again. Are you in there eating ice cream?
Go eat outside.
I mean,
Go into the shed.
I'm intentionally picking something that makes me not look the greatest because it's human.
It's so honest, and I am right there sitting side saddle with you because I got a lot of these.
Thank you. And so I felt I started yelling. I was like, why would you use that? I've said this 50,000 times.
This is so real. This is so real.
Yeah, and God, now I'm like in pain. I'm in agony. And he was like, all right, Jesus, right? You know?
Yeah.
And so then I had to, so this is something, it's a 2 or a 3, right? But I came back later, I processed it, and I thought about, why did I get so mad? Yeah, there was the noise, but there's a deeper theme, which is I feel like, this is my story, you don't always listen to me.
Oh my God! Where's my wife? Is she in the chat room?
Yeah.
Sorry, we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
This is so universal.
So exactly. So, and that's why I was really so upset. So this is the kind of thing that you could get curious about, something that bothered you, and come back and repair with someone. Like in my case, I looked at how I handled it and I shouldn't have yelled. It's not a good way to communicate.
So are you coming back to, sorry, not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
are you coming back and you're like, say, hey, that thing with the plate, you got a second? I want to kind of flesh this out. To use our language, I want to flesh out what happened yesterday with the plate thing, if you've got a second. That kind of a thing?
Exactly. And I start out by, so I always encourage people to do this. This is hugely important. Start by saying how important the relationship is to you and that's why you're making an effort to address something, right? We're not coming to get you in trouble because that's how we feel. It's really hard to take feedback from someone, especially someone you love. Coming and saying, hey, I want to bring something up. I'm only bringing this up because this relationship's really important to me and I want to be able to share with you and for you to know stuff about me and like what bothers me and understand me more deeply. That tends to be very disarming. Then I'm saying in this particular case, hey, I really yelled at you the other day and I did this. I am really sorry for how I acted, that you didn't deserve that. And I want to apologize. Full stop. No equivocating or
it
qualifying.
Ends there, yeah.
Right. And then what I said to my husband, because he's out of town right now, is I would like to, at another time, talk to you a little bit about why I reacted that way and what's bothering me, if you're open to that. And he said, he made a couple of jokes like, oh, I'm not going to get out of this without hearing more from you or whatever.
Round two of the old fork and blade.
But it's okay to joke around a little. But he said, yes, of course, we can talk about it. And then this is what I think people need to understand. When we talk about it, I am coming to him. This is a short conversation, first of all. These communications should not be 30-minute, hour-long deep dives. That's exhausting. No one can take that in. And this is part of why people don't want to communicate. I'm going to come to him and say just simply, I got curious about why I reacted so strongly. And I realized the deeper theme for me is that I have this story in my head in these moments that you're not really listening to me, that you don't really care about what bothers me enough to consider me. And that's what hurt my feelings underneath that reaction of anger. That's how we actually reveal our own inner world and give somebody the opportunity to hear us and know us more deeply. Doesn't guarantee they react well, but if you come this way, you're not criticizing, you're not accusing. I'm not saying, you know what, you rotten bastard, you don't care what I have to say, you don't listen to me, you're inconsiderate, and I'm sick of your... Right? That I am not going to get it.
I just got horny.
But actually, okay.
I like it when my wife yells at me. We haven't gotten to that part yet. But I'm like, oh,
okay,
stop him.
Fair enough. If that's your kink, knock yourself out. But when
been bad?
But when it comes to conflict, you joke, but actually it does scare people.
Yeah.
Our inner radar detects danger and we go into survival mode. But if I come instead and say, hey, I've already apologized and I own that I got angry and I was angry, but underneath that anger, I was hurt, and I was hurt because I have a story. And this is naming that you have a story is very different from projecting the story onto someone like the truth. If I say you don't listen, you don't care, immediately someone's going to get defensive. If I say, I was hurt underneath my anger and my mind makes meaning. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying it feels true to me.
Sure.
It's my story that you don't really listen or care or consider me. Then that other person has some space where they can actually hear it.
Can I ask you about that? Because I do this, and this is great. Is it just by declaring it, by saying, hey, you did it better than saying, hey, this makes me feel this way. I don't really want to do that, but like, I like the idea of saying, hey, I already have this pre-engineered narrative in my brain.
Yes.
That I'm kind of going along with. And when I get in these episodes of what's happening, it amplifies that.
It seems like evidence of it.
It almost disconnects me from it because it almost makes it feel not as real. Is that how it's supposed to sort of work?
Yes, and this is this is one of the biggest problems in communication and relationships is that we're constantly making up. I call it in my book and in couples therapy the negative partner story, and it's usually really based on our own personality, our own history, the way your partner triggers you with their behavior, what they say or do or don't do, but the way you react is all your own. It's based on you and who you are. So obviously my interpretation that you don't really listen and you don't consider me in these moments with the stupid glass bowl and fork.
It's a story we've written.
Yes, I feel like it's true. I mean, even as I say it now, emotionally, it feels true to me.
Yeah, I'm
because
on board.
If you tell me that something bothers you, I'm not going to do it. But my husband, it doesn't mean he doesn't care.
Right.
It feels like it. But that's my story. And every time you don't address a small thing and talk about it from a self-focused perspective and repair it and clear up the misunderstanding, your negative story gets truer and truer and truer. Right. And before you know it, years have gone by of unaddressed things. And you really believe my partner sees me as a failure. I'm not loved and supported. I'm not good enough as I am. They don't care. They don't listen.
But you've amplified that internally.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, it's closed circuit at that point. The cost of quiet. It always comes back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to communicate, because we're constantly hitting each other's raw spots, stepping on each other's toes, and misinterpreting one another. And we've got to clear these things up.
So, Colette, and I'm not saying this is me, by the way. So, don't think I'm
don't
talking
read
about my wife.
into it. Yeah.
But let's just
keep
say
my wife's name out your mouth. Will Smith.
Oh, we should talk about Will Smith.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but let's just
I think he's a gay Scientologist. Do I win a prize?
Let's just say, what if you think that your partner is sensitive enough that if you give them any criticism whatsoever, they're going to take it like a personal stab in the heart.
Yeah.
And then it's going to cause anger. And then, maybe like, days.
You talking about me or your wife?
I'm talking about both of you.
No, this is a huge.
I think
so
I've gotten way better with my stab in the heart.
So
I really do. I think I've gotten way better.
Don't tell them nothing because it's easier for me.
Right. Yeah, that's the premise of my book. That is what most people feel to some degree. So first of all, it is really hard to take feedback, even if you're not sensitive. It is. It's hard to hear that someone is upset with you, disappointed in you, doesn't like something you've done. And this is why coming into the conversation, I'm going to tell you about me and my reaction and how I felt and what I think. You're taking the focus off the other person and whether they're doing anything right or wrong. That helps them to hear it. And this is hugely important to your point, we have to fire ourselves from being responsible for other people's reactions. All we can do is show up and be clear and be kind and take the risk to be vulnerable about our feelings. And then other people are going to react the way they react. Now, part of it is you've got to get more comfortable with the fact that maybe you say it perfectly nicely and your wife or your business partner gets upset and that doesn't feel great, but you're an adult and you can survive that. That's part of your own growth edge of
and
emotional
they can too,
maturity.
and we can too.
Yes.
I'll put myself in there too. We can handle it.
Oh, man, I get so mad. I was kicking around things.
Yeah.
But we also
punching the drywall, I'm slapping the cat
But
around.
we also can come back to someone and say, hey, a couple of times I've come to you and tried to bring some feedback and I've taken great care to say it kindly. And still it seems that you get very upset with me. And then we talk about the behavior. You yell at me or this is what I notice. And it's making it hard for me to feel as close to you as I'd like to be, because when I share feedback, it typically doesn't go well. Can we talk about that? Get some input. A lot of people haven't done their own work, and some people can't hear anything, to your point, no matter how you say it, but you owe it to yourself to be expressing what bothers you.
Because it's for you.
Yes, it's for you. And it's really important.
And then not saying it is way more costly than saying it will ever be, right?
Exactly, because you develop resentment, and actually it makes you sick.
Again, for you.
Yeah, it's for you.
Yeah.
It's for the relationship and the possibility of deeper connection, but it's ultimately for you and your own health, physical, mental, and emotional.
Well, let's call it an episode. Again, The Cost of Quiet. Collect Jane Fair's book.
Yes, sir.
You can get it anywhere where books are found.
And leave a review.
Yeah.
That really helps out.
Thank you.
Like I think you'll enjoy it. I'm on maybe chapter 6 now. I think.
Yay.
So yeah, I'm making good progress. Pretty good progress for an overly busy guy. Try it. You'll like it. And I'm actually listening to the audiobook that is read by Colette herself. So try that. I think you'll dig it.
Oh my gosh, thanks, Dan. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, I very much like it.
Hold on, I'm going to listen to it too. I just haven't got to it. This guy's got more time.
Tom's like, I'm in on this.
I do have more time.
Hey,
I do.
A couple podcasts, some sports came out again, so I had to listen to that.
I get home and my daughter, no one's there. I get home, no one is there. So I can put it in an audiobook and
Tom gets a
sit
pass.
there quietly.
I'm going to run. I'm start listening to it. I'll be there. You can thank me too later. I was just saying, this guy's trying
But
to
I
show me
make
up.
all this stuff we're talking about very simple and actionable, and that's why there's value in the book.
And
Like,
there's
I
good
want
examples.
Yeah,
you
that
can,
you'll relate to.
You'll find somebody and you'll be like, oh, I do that.
So next week, we're going to do listener emails,
Yes,
the whole
sir.
show.
Yes.
And so we'll see you next week. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the couch, our friend John Rollins is here. How you doing, John?
What's up, guys?
You
Long
get a
time no
big
see.
horn blast. We haven't talked to you in forever.
Yeah, when's the last time you were in the studio? Was it with Brunch Bros?
Yeah, that was like, what, 2015 or 2016, something like that? 10 years ago?
With our friend Jordan.
You guys saw Jordan around? He come on? That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, Jordan. We see smatterings of Jordan around this area because of the connection between Cholo Dogs and Tactical Brewing up here. They're always doing their belly flop. Franco's belly flop contest is always right up here, one street over from our studio. And Jordan pops in here sometimes when he's doing all the bowls and working with High Five? Isn't that him?
That's his, they just did the soccer bar.
Yeah, shout out to High Five and Jordan. We would like to work with you guys in the near future.
You know what's weird is, and I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but the years of the late teens and 15
I love
through
late teens.
to 19 is,
Release the files.
They get blurred because COVID was such a timestamp in your life's history, or everybody remembered the 2020. It was what that was, and then coming out of it. And then it's kind of like it was before that, but I can't remember the 15, 16, 17, the 19, it's all what was that? What was that like?
Yeah.
It's what was I
From
doing?
2010
Yeah,
to
the
COVID,
kids were babies.
I got nothing. 2010 to
What?
COVID, I got nothing.
That was my peak years.
Yeah. I remember my peak years. It's sad remembering your peak years because you have to tell yourself
That
it's
was
never
great.
getting better than that.
Well, a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know that, John Rollins, obviously you know the name from Orlando City Soccer. You've been part of Orlando City since the beginning when we were working there, all the way back from the USL Pro days when and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you were pretty much a guy, on the, staff that was what needs done? Well, this guy can do anything. Plug all holes. John Rollins, wherever we need help, because back in the days before we were a major league soccer franchise, it was really, really, really homegrown, really, really small business.
Yeah. People don't realize how
People
small
don't
it was.
understand that this was a movie. This was a Savannah Bananas type scenario where me and Tom are at a rental truck store looking at trucks to try and plan a party barge, paint it purple, put an Xbox in it and a TV so we can have something for fans of Orlando City Soccer at a tailgate party. Everything was done by everybody There wasn't when you were in the marketing department, like we worked adjacent to you. I remember you were in merch too, and which looked like like just the hardest job in the world. Like he was in charge of all the merchandise for an entire soccer team.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But no, thank you, sir. Too hard.
But it was way, like, let's talk about how small Orlando City was when it started. It was just, it like a small USL Pro team has how many staff, would you say?
Oh, man. I mean, the Winter Park offices was probably like 50 full-time staff, if that, not even.
Because compared to what right now Orlando City has, how much?
About 250 probably full-time.
Yeah, it's at least like 5 to 6 times what we had. I remember when, you or Kay or somebody would pull the door for a meeting. Tom and I didn't even believe we should be in any of these meetings. They'd pull the door, an all-staff meeting. It'd be like 50 people in a boardroom. Or 40 people in a boardroom with the door shut. That's how few people were working on this team.
Oh, yeah.
So, John, I know you've done some Orlando City podcasts.
Well, you kind of reinvented it, right? Like, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, when did you decide that Orlando City needed, like sort of a more visible or more, I think, active, like really, and almost like I would say, consistent, podcasting sort of entity. When did you take that over, and what was your decision behind taking it over?
Honestly, I stopped working at the club, and I was just a fan. Like, I'm such a soccer fan that I'm always thinking about Orlando City, and then at a certain point I got to do something with all this information and all these opinions, right? So I was like, I'm gonna join a podcast. So I joined Loud and Proud Orlando that was already existing, and then we just really kind of ran with it and took it off and said we're going to make this a community, because that's really, with sports podcasts, it's more about a place for fans. And every fans have multiple podcasts they listen to, but if you can kind of encapsulate what the fans are looking for and have that conversation the same way that you guys have your Tom and Dan community, that's all we were trying to do, is build an Orlando City fan base and be somewhere to talk about the game, and also educate people. So many people here, they love soccer, but they don't really know ball, like we would say, right? Sure. They don't really get soccer. I know you do, Dan, because of all your years watching Arsenal.
Well, yeah. Well,
and there's a difference, right, between a casual and a, oh no, I get it. So that's what we're trying to educate people and get them to understand. This is how the business of soccer works, and how Orlando works with the business of soccer, different from Miami or other places.
Oh, without a doubt. And anybody that was there, you were very lucky if you happen to be a fan of Orlando City soccer, if you're a supporter, and you started in those USL days and sort of in 2015 migrated with all of us into MLS, then I kind of feel like you're a lifer, because you were part of that sort of that we birthed something, right? It was like a creation of truly something. Now, and hopefully you can speak on this a little bit, and I've been pretty critical, and because I love the club. This is my hometown club.
Yeah.
And very early on, I was told, hey, because I am an Arsenal supporter, but I was told, hey, have you ever had a soccer club in your city? And I was like, well, of course not. In America, you'd be very lucky to have one. We are very lucky in Orlando that we have a Major League Soccer franchise here. Not in England, you get a club. Most little cities or little towns or townships or, boroughs or whatever you want to call them, they have a club that you can kind of get behind. And there is more of a family sort of a connection to it. Mm-hmm. I have that with Orlando City. And now the way that we're starting this particular season is really, really rough, man, because I'm coming in really hard with the kid watching and the new jersey, and I'm excited about it.
Brutal.
So if you could talk about that for a second, the ups and downs. If you're coming in just to watch Orlando City now and you're frustrated, I would understand you should be frustrated
100%.
Because we are, in my opinion, the Florida club. And nothing chaps my ass more than knowing that Miami is trying to claim that now. And the last time we did meet them, it was not pretty. So can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I think, first of all, clubs change and grow, right? And I think that's, so many people talk about oh, it's not what it was in the USL days. 100%. It's never going to be that. That's because it was a unique thing. It was a family vibe, and it was a small business. And businesses grow, businesses change. Look at what happened with Wrexham. Do you think Wrexham is anything like it was 5 years ago? No, it's like this mega corporation now, and they're in the championship. They want to be a Premier League club, and so it's not going to feel like it did 5 years ago. And that's the same with Orlando City. So I think from the nostalgia point of view, you have to understand that now we are a big club or bigger club, right?
Club, yeah.
In the world and in USA, and we have to compete like that. And more recently, yeah, of course, like our neighbors to the south, they signed Lionel Messi. What drives me crazy about that is there are people that are just Messi fans. They're not Miami fans, right? They're literally just Messi fans. So you see them supporting him in our own stadium. That kills you, right? And that makes you upset. And you talking about bringing your kid there and watching us lose 4-2 and how horrific that was.
It was rough.
But you know what that's doing? That's instilling in what we call in like the soccer football world is like, that's like good lore, right? That's good grit. That's good, something to educate the kid under, because in the future when you win, it's even sweeter. You got to have the good and the bad times. And I think being an American fan in general of sports is like a lot of the time they just want to support winning teams.
Are we more casual with it? We're not as like
I think especially in Orlando, like it's not necessarily the hardcore fans, right? I think other cities will weather the storm more than here. Your hardcores are going to be there, but they'll only fill out about half the stadium at the moment. So the casuals that come, they want to come because it's fun and exciting and they see winning soccer.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine, but in terms of like being a soccer fan, it's really about the badge, and it's about, thick and thin. And right now, Miami are on top, but there was 5 years ago where they were bottom of the table, and we were one of the better teams.
Oh, they still never beat.
Right?
I mean, that was the first time they've ever beaten us at home. So let the record reflect that
it's ups and downs.
It is so lopsided on who is as far as wins goes. That's us. Like, let's make no bones about that.
How many years do you think Messi will even play?
I think he's maybe got another 2 or 3 years because he wants to open the stadium down there, and he's probably going to get ownership. It's not verified, but there's a lot of talk that he's part owner down there.
Yeah.
So it's like a longevity thing for him, open up the stadium, be a big part of that, make Miami such a big franchise that he's going to make money years and years from now.
There are rumblings that this
it's all business.
But there are rumblings that this won't be his last stop. That he'll actually jump from this team to another team.
There's always talk of him going. Like, I think his heart wants to go back to Barcelona, but they don't, and also, like I said, the money thing now, his interests are here because all the cash.
And by the way, that is a negotiation technique which every player and every high-end agent uses, where they're always putting out, my client will leave at any point because that's the only leverage you have.
True, yeah.
So think about it. And when we're talking about the amount of money that Messi and some of the organizations and players have, like their entire business of like lawyers and agents and stuff like that, they constantly, if he makes money, they all make money, and they're constantly manipulating the media just to put out stuff so that they get paid the most possible.
And that's so much of what we do on the podcast is like filtering through all that noise. To be like, no, like that's not true because this is some random source from some kid in Brazil who's just making shit up, right? So
yeah. Or it's the agent putting out stuff, the narrative, and like it's always wheeling and dealing. Like there's huge money here. It's business at the end of the day. These players want to make the most money for themselves,
and they should.
And it's international too. So you've got guys screwing you over from other countries that have nothing. They're like just out of Spain they're saying this, but out of America they're saying this, and it's the same transfer. You're getting completely different messages from different countries.
Yeah, every team wants someone of that status just for the marketing. If that if Messi's a part of any team, your marketing goes bananas, and then your team will make money.
Well, do we know the jersey stats on Messi? I mean, it's got to be off the chart.
Insane. Yeah, and he gets direct cut from Adidas.
Oh my God, he's right in the vein of Adidas. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Apple TV. He got cut of prescriptions there.
Holy smokes! And he got some of my money. Then
he's making something like $90 million in separate sponsorship deals that have nothing to do with the ones that he gets from the league in his contract. The biggest thing about that, and the issue with American sports in that world is like because it's a franchise model, everyone's paying for that. So there's just like this idea of like, okay, so we're all paying for a player, does that, and they make more money when he's in the final. So you start to question, like we had a Leagues Cup game last year where the reffing was so bad that it really made you feel like they wanted Miami in the final.
Yes,
and as soon as they get in the final, they sell like 70,000 tickets. Like, I don't want to be too tinfoil hat guy, but there are some times where you go, like, are they giving favorable calls because they know they make more money when Miami do better?
Yes,
Right, right.
And it's not
Which also fuels the conspiracy theories of our fans to think that every time Lionel Messi points at a referee that he gets his way. I mean, which does appear to be...
There's a lot of that.
I mean, Google that on YouTube and watch. There's compilations of it
from
now.
Barca, Argentina, all the teams, he's always done that.
So this happens in sports. I'm glad you brought this up, John, because this causes a lot of conspiracy theories where, like, even in the NFL, or NFL's rigged, or like any sport, you start like, oh, it's the gambling, there's the collusion, there's the refs are in on it. So I do believe that there's a psychological effect that happens in all sports, right? Where, the MLS is a business, right? Everybody gets paid. So, like, every team and player and personnel and ref that is getting paid, technically, it's all team-based, but it's all a broader company, and that's
moving down the track.
And that's the MLS, right? And so sometimes what's good for the broader company, that everybody kind of knows, like, hey, so it's like Miami making the final, right? So without the referees even having to be told by someone, which they never do because it would come back to bite them in the ass. If there's any secret recording or email or something, like, they're never doing any of that because it could cause a tremendous amount of marketing damage. So they'll never do. But the referees, I truly believe, in their minds, they know, like, hey, Miami making to the finals with Messi, whatever, like, good marketing for the entire league.
How much more money with it? It could be $100 million more.
Oh, man.
It could be more than that.
High tides, like, raise all boats kind of thing. And then they could be psychologically, like, people have biases that they are not even aware of. And if they took a lie detector, they'd pass it. But because that bias is so ingrained, that could happen. And then the refereeing is very subjective in the MLS and soccer in general, in that sport, and that could just be that, and we all saw it happening.
I hate to say it's part of the fun.
Honestly,
I don't like saying that.
They try to fix it with VAR, just made it even more of a mess.
It made it crazier. It made it crazier because now there's like a section of time that they've isolated for your anxiety.
Let's nitpick.
And they're like, let's put this over, and then let's put the ref's face real big on TV and let's analyze him looking into the screen. It's worse. Just let the ref call it as he see it, move on.
Yeah. It's supposed to be for clear and obvious
And
things.
I was a VAR guy, by the way. I'm backtracking on everything I said about it making it better. I don't think it makes it better. It slows everything down. And now every sport does it. The NBA is doing it now, and it is the slowest process. NBA games are very similar to Orlando City games. They're very fast. You watch the Magic and you watch City, it's a fast game. Not anymore. Not anymore.
So I want to talk about this real quick while we have some time, because, and this is what I asked John if he before the show started.
No, this is a big secret.
Because
this is the secret.
We've mentioned it before.
Well, he's a friend of ours, and we don't want to air our friends out. Put him in the spot.
But John knows Adrian Heath, and we all
better than we do. We spend a lot of time with Adrian, but I know John knows him better than we do.
But this is why, and I think this is why the story is so fascinating to me, because I've spent time with Adrian Heath, and when we used to work with Orlando City, and he was the coach I only knew when I worked there. And I
mean, he'll always be, like some Arsenal fans, Arsene Wenger is going to be their guy until the end of time.
Legend of the club.
He's my Arsene Wenger. Like, and having my own club with my own coach, that's my coach for life, is Adrian Heath.
Also, is someone I respect a lot, and if no one...
I also got really drunk with him at the porch here in town and almost couldn't get home, so that's fun. That's fun. On wine, of all
Everyone
things.
has a story like that.
On wine, at the porch. He's, have a glass of wine, Dad. Have a glass your wife.
You can't leave yet.
You're right.
There's also...
my God.
Like,
I got hammered.
And a lot of people...
On wine. I don't drink wine.
Like, there's a phenomenon with me when, and it happens with older real men too that have the same effect, but with something with a professional coach. Like, when you're around a professional coach has a personality that I will do anything they say.
It's a magnet.
And immediately I trust and bond with a professional coach. And I'm like, please coach me. I'll do whatever.
You're right.
Tell me to run.
He has that coach. There's a coach.
And other coaches. I've been around other professional professional coaches they have a personality that you almost are like, I'll do anything for you. Like, and
it's the aura.
Yeah, the aura of professional coaches. Like,
and I'm sure it has to do with just his reps of communication, right?
He has old school English coach aura, which is like vibes. Like you just like,
true.
Whatever you say, boss.
True,
yes,
dying
Gaffer.
breed style.
Yes, Gaffer. What do you want,
Gaffer?
Gaffer.
True dying breed style. Yeah. So you don't get a lot of that.
You run through fire for that, man.
So I'm gonna kind of give you the loose talking points of this, but you can go read the article, which is it was in the Athletic. Just search Adrian Heath was kidnapped, and you can read the story.
It sounds like a ridiculous thing that you can type into.
It's spread around. Like New York Times covered the Athletic article
by Paul Tenorio, who's from Orlando, used to cover Orlando City. Okay, that's why he got the story, because he's old friends with Adrian.
Okay,
wow, I didn't know that.
There you go.
So we knew you were the right guy to talk to about this.
Yeah. And then before you say like, oh, why don't you guys reach out to? We have. I don't think he wants to do another interview. He did one.
We did. I don't feel like this is
national press. I'm sure he's been.
I think this is the one and done. I think you talk about it and you put it to bed.
He's also the type of personality that, from what I know, and again, I don't know him too well, but if from that, he's the type of personality that didn't. And there's a reason he didn't even talk about this for a long time, and he released the story. He did the interview because he wanted to try to stop other coaches from being, because this has apparently happened 2 times before him and 1 time after.
Yeah,
and
they're still investigating.
So anyway, the long and the short of it was like he had spent 15 years continuously coaching, and then right after Minnesota, he was like in a break. You know, he's got kids and grandkids, and he was talking about that, but he had another coaching opportunity that sprung up. Right, and he's like, mulling it over, and then he's like, you know what, maybe I will do it.
Was it a Saudi league, or what was it?
It was the Saudi.
I think it was.
Yes. Was it a Saudi league?
It was an international league. Maybe
it was
Saudi Arabia.
Qatar, not Saudi. Sorry.
And then so a manager or some person that had a reputation for working amongst, I guess,
international
football
recruiting
leagues.
agent.
Yeah, an agent, and then reached out and like, hey, this league may be interested, and the interview's in Morocco. Right, so he's like, in the article, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I feel like I can coach again. Whatever. So he goes to the interview in Morocco.
Why not?
And he goes and meets the people. They get waiting for him with his name on the plane and stuff. Yeah. They get in the car and they're like, hey, we're gonna go and take you to one of the owners and we'll talk to him, whatever. And he's driving, and he said like things. He starts getting more and more suspicious. Like, where are we going?
He started seeing residential areas.
Yeah, he's like getting off the highway and stuff.
It's like, I'm in a town.
So they take him to an apartment.
This is not the Ritz.
Yeah. This doesn't look like, okay, this is an interesting meeting.
So and there's some details in this story with like, if I have to do a true crime podcast where we start questioning some details where it's like odd, and this is where conspiracy theories happen. But it's like we're gonna talk about it. So then he goes to this apartment, and then it becomes obvious. Like, they pull a knife out, they sit him in a chair, and they're like, hey, you're gonna call your wife and make her wire 6 figures, they said in the article, over to this account and make her wire, so he knows at this point he's being kidnapped and then held for ransom, and then the kidnappers make him call his wife Jane and ask to transfer money. So he does this, and then in the middle of the conversation, I don't know if Jane, and this is where it's like fuzzy, where if she realized, like, obviously she realized something was off, and even before that, just like he didn't contact her normally, and like all the stuff.
They have
a
routine, husbands and wives, especially them, and I know them. I spent good time with them. She is amazing. Great woman. Just a beautiful and a wonderful and the kindest, sweetest human you would ever, and it would strike me that their bond, like, she would know, and like Andrea would know, Crystal would know with you. He didn't sound right.
Adrian would he would just immediately be like, ask her a question for something he needed, right? And so like I think she would immediately be like, why is he saying like what? Like this is not.
This is not.
This is never would he ask me to transfer all this money randomly on a whim.
No,
Correct.
Of course. Even
Correct.
I'm sure his first hello, she knows something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
literally,
a partner knows this is not normal. So anyway, he asked her to transfer the money. She comes up with a brilliant plan of like, hey, a couple weeks ago we changed our bank account and your name's on it. I can't transfer any amount of money.
You have to do that because you open the accounts. Oh, that's so brilliant.
Both our names are on the accounts, which is true. But one person can't just the other person needs to sign off. Like me and Daniel's business account.
That is true. I hate that because there's so much I want my wife to do for me with my bank account, and I can't because I have to be there. I'm like, just do it for me, please.
It's emasculating when you're like,
you're like on the phone.
Can you talk to my wife about this? Thank you.
I hate
that this happens. Any financial with the Dennis household, anything financial that's me, my wife will be like, yes, he's right here. Hold on, and hand me the phone. I'm like, yes, she can do it, and then I hand it back to her. That's how much of a veal. I'm a little veal man.
Emasculating.
Yeah, it is.
My wife.
Do you do that too?
I don't
even know what the hell's going on. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, this could be a stranger, by the way.
Yeah, who is this?
This could be my wife's other guys who cheat on me.
Are you my wife's lover?
Yeah. How do you verify it's me? You're just gonna trust any man's voice?
And
what
how
about a woman's
voice?
voice?
My God, how insulting would it be if your wife was cheating on you and she got you on the phone with her lover just for you to be like, yes, you can do anything to my, and then he's like, okay. Oh my God, that's so insulting. Like, that's a slap in the face.
This is your security protocols? Like, can I speak to your husband? I'm like, yes, this is probably her using a man's voice. Anyway.
And I heard the guy one time because Andrea was like, he's right here, hands me the phone. I'm like, she can speak for me, Bank of America. And then when I went to hand the phone back, I heard the person on the line go, that sounds just like him. It sounds weak. I heard that. Sounds like a weak man.
So then she's like, I can't transfer the money. He's got to be in the account, whatever. And like,
which is brilliant.
And they keep him for like 2 days. He's in the
we had to sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And the part that rattled me too is he's sleeping on the couch, and he's apparently the kidnappers are keeping him at their own residence or somebody connected with the kidnapping's residence. And he's laying on the couch and he locks eyes with like one of the children from the kidnapper, like one of the sons, like a little boy from one of the kidnappers. And like has this moment where it's like becomes like, oh my God, I'm never going to see my grandkids or my son again.
Yeah, he talks about that
my
in
beautiful
article,
wife or like, yeah. And that just got me.
If they thought that they may kill him, like, of course, anybody's thinking that. As soon as you're kidnapped, you're like, oh, these people are going to kill me. Like,
I think that with good situations. Anything. I go into McDonald's, I'm like, these people could kill me.
I think that with every guest.
Yeah, I think it with you right now. I'm very nervous. What do you think my cane's right here?
Every time I get on I-4, I'm like, I could die right now.
You could. That's true. That's a dangerous road. You're good to get out of here for that. That's a bad road.
So, and again, you could read this all for yourself.
It's in the Atlantic.
So then, while this is happening, the Jane contacts
Adrian's wife Jane.
Contacts Harrison Heath, which we've known too.
Correct.
Adrian Heath's son, and then also some close members of the family saying like this is happening. Also Caitlin Kyle from the U.S. Women's National Team.
Well, you Canadian.
Oh, Canadian.
She's
Canadian
also
national team.
Apple TV host.
Yes, Caitlin Kyle.
Also, just full on smoke show. I just have to say that. I mean, she might be the most beautiful woman in soccer.
Yeah. They got good genes.
Yeah, my God, those children are they look like angel babies.
They got 2 soccer players for parents, so
Yeah, they're good. They'll be fine.
So, and then also Harrison Heath played with someone who's an FBI agent's son. In soccer
down in Miami, right?
Yeah, down in Miami, which is also like just random, like, and then
I didn't know this detail.
Yeah, and that gets mentioned in the Atlantic. So
he just used his contact. He's like, I'm gonna call it my buddy.
So here's where
this is where it pays to know people, right?
Yeah, this is where it starts to get a little crazy.
But also this was never talked about for like 1 year after it happened. This happened in November of 2024. It came out in 2025. This past year, like 6 months ago, is when it came out, like a year later. And it came out, and the article talks about it after Agent found out this happened before and one time after. And then he's like, I got to put the word out so something changes, because they're like figuring out how to kidnap people. And then who knows if this is going to keep happening. So then, so this is where, okay. And who knows how you'd how anybody would act in this scenario.
But this is the craziest part of the story, I think.
So Caitlin Kyle realizes, like, hey, have anybody checked the Find My Phone app to see if he's, like, you could track his app?
Which checks out. She's a very savvy player. I think she's at one point captain of the Canadian women's national team. I mean, that's a smart lady there.
Which, by the way, my wife, as soon as I got off, she'd be looking at where my location.
He's driving through Morocco. I see it.
She looks at my location every day.
On me in Morocco.
Every day she looks at my location, so this would not, like, my wife would immediately, like, he's there. So that's suspicious of me. So, but then Caitlin Kyle says,
Apple has helped every wife LoJack their husband.
They really have.
This is why I'm an Android.
It works both ways, though. Sometimes I check my wife to see how long I have at home alone, if you know what I'm saying.
Like,
I'm in the bathroom.
Where is she? How long do I have?
How long? I hear the garage.
Like, obviously, that's not the reason I'm not cheating on my wife, but it is probably
it's a low-key deterrent, I'd say.
It stopped cheating by 25%.
Like, leave your phone at work.
Yeah. Well, then you're like the first 48 murderers have caught on to leaving your phone.
Get your burner out.
Yeah.
You're like, this is just my cheater burner.
Exactly.
I drop mine off at the gym, then I'll cheat. Like, I was at the gym again. Oh, yeah, I know you're.
That's why you're so sweaty.
We found a phone at the toilet.
So anyway, then Caitlin Kyle says, "Has anybody checked to Find My?" And then they're like, no, and then they look at it, and then they find his location in Morocco, right? So this is the odd part to me, and I'm just not that, but who knows again how.
Well, it wouldn't be the first thing you would do. I feel like,
because I feel like in this scenario, I would then contact the FBI and be like, he's been kidnapped, and here's his location. But they sent to his phone, like, I know where your location's at.
I know what you did last summer. Basically what they said,
and
right?
Then the kidnappers now know where his location's at, right? So then Adrian didn't know this because they had his phone.
That's the part that rattles me and Tom, is because, like, I have seen the movies where they're like,
well, then they move
we
him.
know where you are, or like they say, we know where you are, and they're like, well, we must kill him now.
Yeah.
That's my villain voice.
I don't know why. I guess I wouldn't. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, you would think, great, we know. Let's alert the authorities that we know where he is right now,
so they can call the Morocco police, surround him, and whatever, and get him.
But also, maybe that's your answer right there, Moroccan police.
How bad are you as a kidnapper if you don't immediately take the guy's phone away and throw the SIM out, or like throw it in the, you know,
maybe they were Android guys.
Like they couldn't even use his phone, and they didn't think that they could track his phone.
Now, here's the thing.
Tom asked the same thing, by the way.
We're often, and before I get skeptical, I'm like, what the hell happened? But we're often tricked by movies and thinking that kidnappers are always professional.
They're smart,
high intelligent, jewel thieves that can, you know what I'm saying, like
super geniuses.
Like they've actually planned it and not just doing it on a whim.
This could be just some dodos.
And plans go bad sometimes. Sometimes you forget steps.
Yeah.
Maybe that was maybe the guy was supposed to turn off the phone and he just got too excited and didn't do it.
And
lucky for Adrian.
And what I know for sure, there are more dodos than super geniuses. So there it is. You know what I'm saying? That could be it. So anyway, but they do say
that's why people love wrestling.
They text his phone like, "Hey, we know where your location's at," which I would never do, because I would assume that they just throw away his phone and move him, and now I'll never find him again. So like, I would never give that information to them, which is the only weird part of this whole. And I'm sure a lot of other people that read the story are like, why did that happen? And we probably never know. And again, I guess it
could have been an impulse, right?
Yeah, it could have been like, hey, yeah, it could
like I haven't texted, like,
because you're also and you're panicked, you haven't slept.
It's like me when people insult me on Twitter. I don't give it a beat. Yes, I reply immediately, be like, F you, you know.
But like, where's the FBI strategist at this point, right? Like, I feel like it should have been escalated to like immediately, like, okay, what are we doing? We know this is a thing.
But I don't think they were involved.
It was so early in this process.
Yeah, in the beginning. So, but as soon as they do this, like 3 days in, and like the FBI, the police is not involved.
Yeah.
But as soon as they do this, the kidnappers like get your bag, and they drop them off at the airport.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And they get the text message basically from the family saying, "Hey, we know your location now," and that rattles the kidnappers enough to basically load up his bag, throw him in the SUV, drive him to the airport, dump him out, and say, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah. Then he buys whatever ticket to Europe he can get, and then flies to Europe, then flies back to the United States. Then like for a year,
he lays low.
Yeah, for a year he didn't talk about it, but I guess
that would rattle your bones.
The FBI was involved because they had him under protection for like months. Because I guess a standard protocol when someone gets kidnapped.
That's gotta feel cool, right? Even though it's torturous, like when you have FBI detail like following you around because they're protecting you. makes you feel like you earned it, right? I was like, that's cool.
That's kind of cool, but I don't think I want to go through it.
Yeah,
just
I don't
want to
go through it either, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to reframe it, look at the good side. It's like, how many coaches get a FBI detail? I mean, this guy's got to be a goddamn good coach. And I believe he is. He's so good he needs an FBI detail.
So anyway, that's basically the end of the story, and then now he's come out with it, and you could read it all year. But it's a crazy. I'm like,
crazy.
this is crazy. You know, especially for a guy we know.
International soccer, dude. International soccer is.
That would be a crazy story for anybody, but the fact that we know Adrian.
Yeah.
You know the first thing I thought of with this, honestly?
Yeah.
Like the first thing I thought of, because you could make this really funny, is that somebody needs to write this movie. Because nobody got hurt, thankfully.
Right.
This could have been terrible. But you could do
It could be a good movie.
You could do a edgy comedy sports movie about this happening. And it would be entertaining.
But at the end of the movie, I would produce Adrian headbutts his way out.
I like that.
Because that guy will headbutt you.
He'll headbutt you through a window.
A headbutt from Adrian. You're not getting away from that. He'll blow your face off.
Literally, you want your nose flat? I'll flatten it with my head.
So, John, I didn't know this, and Daniel told me this morning, but I didn't know Grant Hill was a part owner of Orlando City.
Yeah,
He's a minority owner.
The minority owner. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Why don't we say that more?
The DeVos family is also an owner of Orlando City now.
Well, we don't have to say that. We can say, but yeah, I think it's cool. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like Orlando Pride as well.
Yeah. I like a good celebrity part owner. I don't know. I think every team should
Orlando
have
level celebrity, right? I mean, let's be.
Well,
we don't get the top A-listers. We get the kind of B, C-lister celebrities that are top
Grant Hill's a big deal.
Well, the tie-in and Jet plays for the Magic. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool that there's a connection there.
Yeah,
At least it's in the sports family.
Right.
That sort of a thing.
Yeah. And so, John, let's talk before we run out of time.
We don't want to run out of time.
So, I want to talk about you moving back to England.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm excited to move to England. Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
So how long have you lived in the United States?
Oh, my God. I've been here like 15 years, pretty much. I moved back during the pandemic because I lost like 3 jobs. So I was like, hey, I got nothing to do. So I moved back there for a year. But then I came back again because I just missed it and I missed everything. I missed Orlando City. I missed the team and everything. So, but I'm married now. So many things have changed in my life.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we just feel like it's the right move for us to go back to England. And I've got my brother there and my sisters and all the kids and so much of my family is there. So I'm excited to see them.
And
that'll be awesome.
Are you gonna? You don't want to announce it on the air, but imagine kids are in your future and things like that. And they're it's so much easier to raise kids.
I resisted it for a long time, but let's be real. It's just.
It's amazing, dude.
And getting gray here, you got to start. Got to grow up at some point.
Oh, tell me about it.
Got to start reproducing.
How old are you, John?
I'm 35 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did we meet?
I was thinking
20s.
about
Jesus
literally.
Christ. You're like a child when we met you.
2013 or 2014 when I came to the studio up in Maitland at like 6 a.m. and like I remember my dad arranged for me like intern with you guys.
Yeah.
And I would come on the radio and I still really had my British accent and you thought that was hilarious. And the monsters that you'd make me read like things from England.
Hello,
like
this is
Jim would be
Sean
like,
with your
read
weather."
this in your English accent.
That's what dumb Florida yokels
Yes,
do.
yeah.
Say this in your funny style.
And Jack would be like, it's okay, just do it.
Make an Englishman read a paragraph in his funny
He
talk.
sounds different.
God, we're stupid.
All right, we'll be right back.
That's how long ago.
That's a long ass time.
No,
man.
I remember. Yeah, like it's funny because I remember you as not a kid. You were in your,
I was like 21, something like that.
But still, it's like now comparatively, like 21-year-old is closer to a kid than an adult to me. Just because you're so young.
You can
and
see it
realize
more now too as an older man. Like I used to look at even in my early 30s, you look at a 21-year-old and you're like, I'm like you. But now at 49, I look at a 21-year-old and I'm like, my God, you're a baby.
Yeah.
And it is such a weird switch in your brain that kind of happens. Do you know where you're going to be living, or is that part of the excitement of like planning it all out?
We're gonna figure it out. My wife has never been to England before.
This is so exciting, dude.
So she's from Venezuela and she's really excited to go explore a new country. And so I'm like, let's go see the country and then figure out where you want to be, because I think a lot of people think it's just London, and there's so much more. Like, I'm from the southwest, like where Bristol and Bath is. But, like, you've got the north, you've got Scotland, you've got Wales, like, you've got Northern Ireland even in the UK.
Yeah, we got Wales in Orlando, too. Trust me. I laid with a lot of them. They used to call me the Whale King.
The Whale King. I love that.
I'm curious, to what you'll miss about the United States comparatively to living in England.
Right now, at this period in time, not a lot, I got to say.
Yeah. Well, when you live in it, it's like, when you're in it.
I love this country, but...
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's
So
a spicy time.
I'm excited for some things like, having bread that doesn't have sugar in it. Stuff like that sounds really good to me.
I love sugar bread.
You don't like donuts? You get the hell out. You get the hell out. I knew it. I knew it.
You want some brown, bitter nut bread.
This country was founded on Krispy damn creams.
You see these Americans working so hard to get their protein and keep their calories down. I'm like... Yeah, I think it would be a lot easier in Europe where everything's not full of, crap.
Bunch of garbage.
I love crap.
Like, why do I feel so sluggish? I'm like, I just ate a meal. That's why. Like, literally. So it's stuff like that.
Just take some pills for that.
Yeah.
You eat the sugar, you take the pills.
Yeah.
Take a sugar pill.
That's an American way.
Now you go to the doctor and you pay the doctor.
Yeah. That's part of it. God. You don't know the American way by now?
One of the things I was thinking about that's really cool about Europe, and I've never really thought about this until, like, I'm kind of getting way back into music again. And I'm following all these, like, I set my drum set back up again. I'm playing every day. I'm taking guitar lessons every night. I take, like, an online guitar lesson. And I'm really into it. It's good for my brain. But I'm back into music, and I noticed that a lot of these bands that I really like will do these tiny tours, but it's funny because they'll start in, like, Italy, and they'll just do Italy, France, England, but it's not even close to being as far as what we have to deal with here in the States, just because we're so spread out. They'll just bop around and only do, like, maybe 9 different shows, but they're hitting, like, 9 different countries.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that you can do that. But
Europe is really, I mean, I always tell people here, I'm like, America, you have to think of states as countries. Like, Florida is a country. Like, in Europe, it would be. It has its own laws. It has its own thing. So, I think when people say, what's America like? I'm like, well, where are you living?
Of course.
Right. like
what Europe is like.
Yeah, what's Europe like?
Well, it's a lot of different places.
Yeah.
So it's all different.
For sure.
The Florida and Massachusetts might as well be different countries.
And even
Florida, California,
Orlando to Jacksonville, completely different in so many ways,
definitely.
right?
Miami's closer to South America than it is United States. Anyway, John, I want to put you on the spot for the last question. In your opinion, you've been around the club for a long time.
Yeah.
What does Orlando City need to do to win?
Oh my God, dude!
And this is a great question to end with because we have not won a match.
We're 3-0. We've shipped 11 goals and scored 3 so far this year. It is a disaster of a start. I think everyone thought we were going to take a step back this year because we changed so much of the squad. Daniel knows you get to a point where your team is like, okay, now we need like wholesale changes, and that's what we did in this offseason.
Yeah,
and that always like takes a period to figure it out.
We have a lot of younger guys too.
Yeah, and I believe in our GM. I think he's rolled the dice with a lot of good talent out of like Brazil, and we're bringing more homegrowns through. Yep. And I do think it'll take some time for those guys to bed in, but I think their potential is better than what we had. I just don't believe in Oscar Pereira anymore, man. It's sad to say, but like 7 years as a soccer coach is a long leash. And in MLS, there's no relegation. So in other leagues, he would have been fired like 2 seasons ago.
True.
And so that's the part of MLS I don't like, where it's like we can't just be sitting here being like, this is fine. We have our coach and we're going to be okay because we can't get relegated and we'll wait it out till we're good again. I want them to really just say, sorry, Oscar, but you're not the guy. We've got this new squad. Let's go with a new coach.
I think that would help too.
He can get the better and that's what they will do. Like once you change the team and it still doesn't work, the only thing you can do is change the coach. And you don't want to turn into a club that does that all the time, but 7 years and we still haven't won MLS Cup.
True.
Like at this point,
that's a long time.
I don't think he is able to win us MLS Cup, and a lot of people feel that way.
Do you think that we'll ever see maybe I mean, we've already made some changes in that I believe it's next season that the MLS season will line up with a standard EPL season, right? Like meaning that, or is that next season? that they're doing that?
That's massive.
So our games will now be on the same schedule as EPL. That means when we have international breaks, you're not going to get wackiness. You know, Now it's all on the
for the transfer market. It's massive.
Yeah, this could be huge for all of it. Do you ever think that's a huge step? Yeah. I didn't think we'd ever see that.
Yeah.
The fact that they even entertained changing the MLS schedule, to me, I was like, Andrea, my wife told me that. I'm like, that's not happening. She's like, no, they're doing it. This is set in stone. I'm like, I cannot believe that. Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever get because I do think it would fix a lot of problems, a relegation aspect? Are we too entrenched in true American sports business to ever do something like that? Because it is weird to see clubs like Stoke or other clubs that have made their way to the top tier and then they fall all the way back down and maybe go down 2. Maybe don't just dip down to 1 level. Yeah. Maybe they dip down 2 levels and now they have to go through 2 different seasons of winning a completely altered and different championship before they get back to that top tier level. You think we'll ever get anything like that?
I think MLS was so resistant to it for so long, but now they're starting to soften their, idea about maybe in the future we could have it. I think the issue you have with American sports franchises is that everybody's paid in to a product to say I'm paid for a D1 team. So if you have then splitting it up where you have D1, D2, and you have Pro Rel and you get relegated, you say, well, I paid a franchise fee the same as this guy, but now I'm in a D2 league. That is the biggest issue. That if they could figure out how to get over that, bringing Pro Rel, in my opinion, is what makes soccer. It's what makes it the most exciting thing of watching teams go up and down and having good and bad.
Isn't that the beauty gamble, though? On I dumped all my money into this team as an owner, and now we got relegated. We got relegated to the bottom. Well, then I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. That'll right the ship pretty fast, won't it?
You've got J.J. Watt, you've got Snoop Dogg, you've got the Wrexham boys. There's so many of these American owners that are buying clubs in the UK system because they know that they can go, okay, we'll invest at this level and we spend enough money, we're going to become a Premier League club. And then there's actually that pathway to grow a team. USL is doing it here with their clubs. And to bring it full circle back, you might see Adrian Heath actually coaching the new team that they're planning on putting out in Brevard. There's a lot of talk about them bringing a team out there.
I'll drive to see him coach.
Yeah, USL. Remember Tom Bonner?
Yes.
Yeah, Tom and John Bonner and some other people are putting together a USL club out there.
I love John Bonner.
So, and apparently Adrian is going to be the coach and is involved in that. So that's where he's kind of landed, I think. They're still working on it, but it's out there. It's been announced by USL.
Wow.
So that's the kind of thing they want to go in there and say, let's build up the club and become a top USL club, which technically is also D1 according to US Soccer, which is a whole other mess.
We
so even in this country, there is going to be that opportunity to have Pro Rel. It's just not going to be MLS. And then when that happens, does that make USL more attractive? Did the players start going there? In which case, then does it really compete with MLS? You might end up with 2 very good soccer leagues in this country that have nothing to do with each other.
I'm okay with that. It just means more soccer for us.
Right.
If the quality dips, though, if it hurts either of them, I don't know. Maybe that's counterproductive.
I just don't know how the American soccer landscape is like the final frontier of, there's a few other countries around the world, but this America, is the big one of how is American soccer going to look in 100 and 200 years?
Yeah, because it's still, what are we, still 3rd?
Yeah.
In viewership, or is it 4th in viewership still?
No, we're like a top 5-6 league. The viewership is high because of Messi. Honestly, once he stops playing, those numbers will drop massively.
Yeah, that makes sense.
John, good luck in England.
Yeah, man. Thanks for talking to us today, man. We really appreciate it. Great to see you, too.
Thanks for everything you've done for Orlando City.
Thanks for vouching for us. I'm sure you did a bunch of times. Holy smokes.
Do you remember 2015? We used to hang out in the tailgate, and you guys hosted the outdoor bands?
Yes.
That was some of my favorite times.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never consumed more Heineken in my life.
Yes. I don't drink Heineken anymore.
I can't drink it. I think I had 175,000 Heineken.
It'll always be special to me being a part of a team at its start, its birth, and seeing it all flesh out and everybody figure out what this is going to be. That's cool. That's a cool experience that I'll always cherish in my life.
Definitely.
It's cool that I was around, because later on you can be a part of a team. It's already set in stone, but being at the beginning for some reason is super cool to me, because all these traditions are being figured out now. All these that Kingston,
Yeah.
me and Daniel, like, what name? I was like,
Yeah, we
Kingston
named
or-
Kingston. That's crazy. We're working with Teresa.
People love that name.
We sent in a list of names, and that's the one they selected. We wrote that. Like, we had a bunch of different. I can't even tell you some of the ones we had on there. There were a couple spicy ones that we got into. He's like, don't put that on there. We put some names. This is a true story. We put some names on the original Kingston email that went to people in MLS that we shouldn't have put their names on there. And Teresa's like, what the hell are you doing? Does she still work for Nashville now? I think she does.
She's gonna be. Kay's retiring this weekend.
Yes,
Actually,
yeah.
They just announced that today. So she's gonna be in town. Teresa, a bunch of old people.
I'm gonna be at that as well.
On Friday. We'll have
I'm gonna be there on
retirement
Friday
event,
to
so.
celebrate Kay Rollins' retirement from the club,
Yeah.
the foundation.
So no more Rollins in Orlando City's Orlando Pride. So this is
That's
end
a hit.
End of an era.
That's a hit.
Yeah, it is the end of the era.
That's a hit. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't know how. I mean, sure it'll be fine, but
You gotta
personally,
put
I don't
faith
like
in
it.
these new owners, the Wilfs. We're
There you
hoping.
go.
We're hoping they're gonna start paying up some cash soon because
There you go.
we need some big players.
Let's buy them.
All right.
Get out your wallets.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
It's time.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.